So I'm Desiree, and I grew up in Burkina Faso. For part of my childhood, I spent in Burkina Faso. Um, I love the West African region. I love North Africa, and I love the Middle East in general. I work in a think tank that's related to the Middle East. I translate Arabic literature to Dutch. I like to look at the areas where different cultures come together. And yeah, I love this space of different elements meeting. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my fascination. And the Sahara is one of these areas where many, many different things meet.
Wow. Just like the lines in the game, the roots meet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's this other game, I forgot what its name is, but it's also with resources like grains and rock and grass or something like that.
It's called Catan.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the rules video. What do you think? Do you have any questions in particular, or?
No, I'm looking forward playing it. It's like the route this Targi is taking through the desert,
I didn't think of it that way. I
like
like
the
that a lot.
caravan route. Yeah. I think maybe it's inspired from the fact that many Tuareg historically used to guide caravans of traders through the desert to get to a point where they can trade their goods. In contemporary times, for example, the Tuareg earn their money by being tourist guides, which they're also guiding people through the desert. So their knowledge of the desert really makes them kind of the people to go to when you want to cross the desert. So that's why I thought maybe that's why it's like a line in Targi, because you get from point A to point B.
I didn't have that connection in my mind, but now I do. So thank you. And it really makes
Yeah,
sense now that you say
yeah,
it.
yeah, makes sense.
Uh,
Okay, what is a victory point?
a victory point is at the end of this game, which happens maybe when the robber gets all the way around,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to count up your victory points, and I'm going to count up mine. And
Mm-hmm.
whoever has the most is the winner.
Mm. Okay, then I don't want to lose a victory point.
Victory points are the whole point of the game.
Sorry.
No, no, just kidding. This is board game lingo. This is
Okay.
board game language.
And I learned Arabic, which is not the language of the Tuareg. Though many Tuareg they speak Arabic or French, but they speak their own Amazigh language, the Tamashek.
Okay,
I didn't
interesting.
learn Tamashek, but I learned Arabic because it was one of the languages I saw around me as a child, and I was
Yeah,
just really interested in learning it and connecting with the region through its language.
yeah.
And now I feel like the language has become a part of me.
Oh, do you know those silver crosses? Can you see them? Like they're
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your cards. Those are points. Those are victory points. So at the minute,
All
you
right.
you have three of them in
Mm-hmm.
total, but I have four. So watch out.
So you know these crosses,
Yeah.
um, like the Tanaghilt, they're called.
Okay.
There are like 21 different silver crosses, and the cross they depicted on this game, I think it's the most famous one. It's this. So these crosses, they refer to a certain clan or a region, and this crosses from Agadez. Most of them are from Niger because, you know, the Tuareg they're dispersed over several countries. So Mali, Niger, south of Libya, south of Algeria, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania also.
Okay.
So, but most of the crosses refer to the Niger area. All of the crosses have kind of these four directions and a circle. So there was also a story that it refers to, don't know exactly, but the word for love in the Tamashek script,
Okay.
and that a woman secretly gave it to a Tuareg man as a symbol of her love. But
So, okay, and that's how, and that was the tradition, and then that's where these like crosses might have come from.
yes, but they're usually worn now by women, like generally speaking, but also
Hmm.
by men as amulets. Well, this one I bought it in Morocco,
Right. Wow. Okay.
and then there's this one, for example. Oops. Can you see it?
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Hang on. I'm just taking this in. Wow. That looks gold. That looks gold on the screen, but I don't know if that's
No, yeah, they're all silver, but
okay.
these are earrings. These are earrings,
Oh, okay. Very good.
and this is of a friend of mine, so I just borrowed it from him. So this is
Oh,
not an earring, but it's more of an amulet. But
I can't believe you've got a real silver cross like on the game. That's amazing, and
yeah,
you're holding it in your hand.
so there's no gold in the middle. I wanted to get some gold.
I'm telling you, it's really rare. This is what I'm telling you. If you go to the trader though, you could like get all that salt into
Yeah.
gold.
Salt is important for people to consume to stay hydrated in the desert area. And it was used to preserve food.
Okay.
And it was used also to cure illnesses. So I
Right.
think salt is a very important element. And the Saharan desert hasn't always been a desert. It used to be more foresty, let's say. So salt has been how do you say it? There are salt wells under the ground and you can dig them up.
Okay.
And other salt resources come from the ocean, like where the ocean has been dried up, and then you can find salt formations which are brought then to the south. I mean, historically speaking.
Ah, so salt was a resource that, it came from this area. It was a
Yes.
resource that it was a natural occurring resource of the area.
Yes, well, it was a resource that was transported through the Tuareg area.
Right.
So it
Okay.
came north of that area
Hmm.
and then it traveled south to, for example, the Malian Empire, which
Okay.
was which contained regions of Mali and where Manu Musa, who we mentioned before, was one of the kings, and it was founded by Sunjata Keita. So this empire was really rich in gold, but what they lacked was salt, which came from the north and
Okay.
which traveled or was transported through the Tuareg area.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
so
really
salt
cool.
salt as a commodity was traded with gold.
This is the
What?
raid now. So you have to discard a resource or lose a point.
Why do I have to discard a resource?
So your tribe is being raided.
Okay, it's true. There have been raids in the desert, and raids were one of the sources of income for the Tuareg. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it was an anarchistic state of being in the Sahara, because you need to have certain agreements. Otherwise, it's too difficult to go through the Sahara. There were different empires that came and went, but that were very prosperous and that kind of brought together a whole range of different populations. So it was not like a lawless place. No, you had the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Ghana Empire, not in that order. The Tuareg social structure is very organized and everybody has like a role to play in society. So I think this is needed historically to survive in such rough conditions. So indeed, you have the noblemen, and then you have under that, let's say, the vassals. So these would be the warriors or the herdsmen, or yeah, and then you also have the artisans. So the
Yeah.
people who would make these crosses, the silversmiths, or people who, for example, take care of the leather
Okay.
for the saddles or for other artistic forms of expressions. Sorry. It has like a music button, and then it suggests music that fits with the game. Did you see that?
No, I haven't explored any of this classic cheesy music.
Yeah, but there's no Tuareg music.
And it turns out it's like
It's
talk about preconceptions of North Africa. I did not realize there was all these guys like shredding guitar. They love going wild solos on electric guitar, and that's not an association I had with North Africa, but apparently it's kind of a tradition.
Okay, so let me tell you just to start. Like when I was super young, my mother used to play Ali Farka Touré, and he was the first one to really popularize the guitar, I'd say.
Yeah.
And he has also played traditional Mandinka songs on the guitar, which are traditionally played on the kora, like Tumane Diabate or Balake Sissoko. They play these songs on the kora. So the Tuareg guitar music, it's called Eshamur, from the French word chameur. It's the word for unemployed.
Oh,
Because
okay.
many of like Tinari Wen and Mandu Mokhtar, these artists, they started playing the guitar as kind of a way out. Not, I wouldn't say way out, but to give expression to their frustration with unemployment and with their social condition, because the Tuareg region in northern Mali, for example, and in parts of Niger was for a long time marginalized.
Right.
So many young guys, they went to seek for jobs, etc., in Libya and Algeria, but their situation was very frustrating. So they kind of took to the guitar, especially the electric guitar, to give expression to this situation. And why the electric guitar? Because many other instruments in Western Sahara are traditionally linked to a certain social status. Or for example, the traditional Tuareg instrument, the imzad, it was only allowed to be played by women. So to avoid the electric guitar was kind of the solution because it was untouched by tradition.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Yeah, you won.
How is that possible? Because of because I had the camel rider as a row?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, we were talking about the kind of stereotype of the Tuareg people, but there's also kind of a bias in choosing what is translated from the Arab world. And it's not always representative of what's out there.
Lovely, lovely.
And I'm trying to change that with my translation to Dutch. It's kind of the Targi game. Like I like literature, I like Arabic. I just translated a book. It's called The Second Dog War. It's by Jordanian Palestinian author Ibrahim Nasrallah, and it's very satirical. It's like stop me if I go too much into detail, but it's like about this unnamed country in which a war just ended that erupted because of differences in opinion. And then somehow, in some mysterious way, people start to look alike. Like physically, they start to look alike, which causes actually a new war. It was because people don't really want to see themselves because they don't want to be confronted with their own image. So everybody in the novel wants to find and murder their doppelganger. Well, there are people who play it like they're champions and rankings. Like these are people all over the world playing it.
You have this game. You actually had it in a different version, you said. And,
yeah, I think it was an older version.
And then you gave it away, but you hadn't played it.
No, I haven't played it.
It was the rule book was.
Yeah, I'm kind of intimidated by board games. But in essence, it's a pretty simple concept, in essence.
And now you've played it, now you know what you got to do.
Yeah.
And you can always play it online as well.
That's true. I will become world champion.